Going back to Tyreek Hill, what did you guys think after you saw?
Jason,
what do you think? Because after the game, he said he complied and did everything that he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But this time, I don't know. You're not going to win though.
No.
I'm not saying don't knock him. I'm like you said, hey man, I don't want no problems. Mine's going to be down.
Right. So I think that he was in the wrong for not putting his window down and making a big thing over, don't hit my window. Where the police probably made a mistake, from what I can tell by the video, is when the door was open, they did force him out. I don't think they needed to do that, and I think that's where he might have a platform.
And I think too, when they first walked up to it, after he put the window, he had license and insurance, he had everything ready to give to him. But I understand. But the way they treated him, it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
at first,
the knee on the back, and even he's sitting on the curb. Just had knee surgery, sitting on the curb,
yeah.
and then they force and throw us. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
When people say, because I've been profiled, it hasn't been to that part yet.
Mm-hmm.
But just because of the car I drive, and because of something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the fifth car. There's 5 in front, 5 behind me, and I get the ticket.
Did those cops know who it was?
That's what I was going to get to. My point. When they stopped him, they had already ran the license plate.
Right.
Yeah,
so you know who it is.
They gotta know, right?
So my thing was, and I'm a conspiracy theorist, like you always said. I'm thinking, put him in an awkward situation. Hey, one of the cops could have had a bet on the game.
Oh, I've heard that.
I'm thinking one of the cops could have had a bet on the game. You keep him out, you got a chance. But it's only a conspiracy theories. But I really thought that once they ran his license plates, that's Tyreek Hill. All right, let's find out. Let's go and tell him, hey, slow down, man. We know you're trying to get to the game.
Now, they could,
why not do that? Because you know who's in the car.
But I mean, how fast can you really be going when you're? I see the traffic. I seen the traffic. How fast can you really be going?
Right.
It was bumper to bumper. But when you take Campbell and the other kid that was pulled up next to him, the way they approached them too in a hostile.
Right.
They weren't doing anything. It was like,
escalating.
Man, they were trying. And Campbell is NFL man of the year.
Yeah.
He's been around a long time.
Yes.
He's a leader. He was trying to de-escalate it.
Yes.
And just he gets a citation. They're pushing him back. He's just like, man, you don't have to do this.
Right.
You don't have to. Whether it's Tyreek Hill or Hill Tyreek, somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one deserves.
Right.
It doesn't matter what color, whatever. But that's the problem that people don't understand. Part of the society says he deserves it. You know what I mean? And that's the sick part. And I don't care who it is. I don't care, black, brown, white, yellow. No one deserves that type of treatment.
Not throw it on the ground.
Yeah, then he was really sitting on the ground. And with his arms behind him. And if you did that to me, with all my shoulder problems, I mean.
You might have tore something.
Right. It definitely would have tore something. Welcome to Life After Sports 23. We're going to open up with some fantasy football. Opening weekend of the NFL. And James, you already had a busy day. Tell us about it.
Man, I had a real busy day today. I was with Fox 5 today with my man Jason. Had an excellent show this morning. We talked about the fantasy football. We talked about the new documentary from the playing fields. And we talked about the movie and the book. But right now we are here at Life After Sports number 23 to talk about fantasy football and week 2 of the NFL.
Yeah.
Jason, how'd you do?
Well, in the league I recruited James in, I'm 0-1, he's 0-1, and when he came to the studio, he saw Danny Maston and Nicole Reynolds, and they're 0-1. So all three of us that had something to do with Fox 5 today, we need to win in week 2. But I'm just happy he's in the league. We don't get openings very often. I'm a commissioner of 3 leagues. They're all real unique and fun. This one, I don't know if you know, but the name of the league is the Manning Man Crush. And it's broken up into the Peyton, the Eli, and the Archie division. And maybe Arch, when he gets pro, will change it. But he's in the Peyton division. But I was thinking, we lost a team, and that doesn't happen very often. And I'm thinking, who can I get to be in this league that's going to be fun? And and people know. And I was like, oh, James. I'm like, boom, James. And I was surprised that he's never played before. And I said, you're going to like it. You're going to like it. And the only thing that was a bummer is we do our drafts live. And he couldn't be there because we drafted the same night as the Raiders-Niners game, the preseason game.
Okay.
But he had a really good gal draft for him. She's won a few championships, and he's happy with his team.
Oh, good. James, what was the score in your game?
Oh, man, I kind of got slaughtered. I saw 148 to 117, but that's okay. It's all right. A couple of my receivers didn't have any catches, and this guy he's the defending champion of the league, and it's all right. I'll catch him in week 17, and by the
play
end,
him again.
I'll have him together. But the good thing about it is it took so much of my time, I didn't get the opportunity to watch any football because I kept picking up my phone looking at the fantasy scores.
Well, you know, that happens when you're a rookie. You know what I mean? I've been doing this ever since I've been playing way back when. And, I mean, you know, going into the afternoon games, you already know, in between games, you already know what your team is doing. You know who you have, and you know who you're playing against. Yeah. So, you got to watch the game. I mean, last night I have Debo. I didn't play him. Debo on one league, he beat me. You know what I mean?
So you had him in a league, and you played him, or you?
I did. I played him in one league,
and you were against him,
and I was against him.
Yeah.
And then I didn't play him. So, when you have 4 teams, it's long. Long as the 49ers won, man, that's all I care about.
That's your team.
That's my team. Bang bang.
So
that's the thing.
So, Jason, who's your favorite team in the NFL?
Right now, I'm sort of a free agent because I always rooted for Peyton Manning, which is why we have the Manning Man Crush League. And
Are you from New Orleans?
No, I'm not. But when I worked for E-Television, I got to cover the ESPY Awards every year because it's funny because everybody at E, no one likes sports. So I was like, I'll do it. And because, the ESPYs is half athletes and half entertainers. So it was one of my favorite things to cover every year. And Peyton Manning was there. And I interviewed him. This was before I was doing fantasy. And I interviewed him, and great interview. Following year, I interviewed him again, and he knew my name. And I'm like, I don't care if his publicist told him ahead of time or what, but I was impressed that Peyton Manning knew my name. And he watches E, like he loves that stuff. Yeah. Obviously, look what he's doing now.
Right.
So I was a Colts fan. And then when he moved to the Broncos, I was a Broncos fan. I liked the Colts better, though.
Me too. I can't stand the Broncos.
Yeah, but I did it because of Peyton. And in my first year of fantasy, it was the year that you'll remember this, and you'll remember it, just not from a fantasy perspective. But it was my first year. I didn't know what I was doing, and I looked at the year before, and I just looked who had the most touchdowns and the most yards. Well, my first pick was Tiki Barber, then my second pick was Curtis Martin, and my third pick was Peyton. Ooh. But my whole league laughed at me, not Peyton, but the 2 running backs, because what I didn't know is that the year before they were the 2 biggest fumblers in the league that year. But they weren't that year, so I actually made it to the finals in my very first time. I didn't win, but it was pretty exciting. And I remember I had Brandon Stokely, and I can't remember everybody, but Larry Johnson as my third running back. I could only play 2.
Yeah, that's my CBS league. I could only play 2.
Yeah, it was so frustrating.
ESPN too. The other league I'm in, you can only play. You can only have 3 on your roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if someone gets hurt, you're screwed. You got to drop somebody. Yeah. The waiver wire now.
Yeah.
The work begins, James.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, getting on that waiver wire and getting those picks. You know what I mean?
Well, at this particular time, I think it's too early to get to the waiver wire because I'm pretty loaded with the guys that I want. I looked on the waiver wire. I looked at what I want to change. I really didn't want to change anything.
I take a look at your roster.
Check it out, bro. Hey, I already had my general manager, Minsu, check it out. And he told me I was okay.
Yeah,
But, man, the big thing is this is a great week coming up. But we're going to discuss last week about let's talk about Deshaun Watson, man. He looks like a shell of himself right now. I just don't understand. Is he shell-shocked? He don't care? Or what is it, man? Because, Greg was saying off camera that it could be his shoulder. It could be that he's just not in tune with football right now. Jason, what you think it could be?
I don't think it's that he doesn't care. I mean, when you played, you cared, right?
Yeah, all the time.
When you played, you cared.
Yeah.
Because you're competitors. Right. And even when I do my stupid volleyball, I care.
We know.
Right, I'm about to have surgery on my back. So I think he cares. I just don't. I think he's out of condition. He hasn't played the game for a while.
3 years is a long time to be away from that game. That speed, that fast.
Yeah.
And with the money that these guys are making, we talked about it earlier. They don't get the reps in the preseason because they can't afford to get hurt. So, there's going to be rust. I mean, if you look at it, QB play was horrible throughout the whole league.
I think the kickers did the best.
Oh, the kickers for sure.
Yeah, the kickers scored the most points.
But you brought up a great point earlier. The guys that played in the preseason, the quarterbacks that played in the preseason, those are the quarterbacks that look good, like the 49ers quarterback. He looked great. You know what I mean? Tua looked good because he had time. Mm-hmm. He had some time to put his feet in the water before the fire started. So
and everything is, being a player, everything's timing, right?
Yes, it is.
So how do you get timing if you don't play?
Right.
I mean, even looking at, I'm a 49er fan, but looking at, Aaron Rodgers, as great as he is, he did not look that great to me. Some of his throws and all that. The guys were getting breaks on the balls, and you could say Garrett Wilson, you could say whoever you want. Tyrod Taylor, who didn't play, who played in the preseason, he was dropping dimes. He was dropping dimes.
Yeah.
He had a rapport with the receivers. And I just think, just like anything, they have their sea legs right now. They got to get their legs underneath them. Mm-hmm. And I think at the end of things, the cream always rises to the top. But I like it because some of these guys that think they're bigger than the game, it's a slap in the face that, this game goes on and you're just part of the game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It was strange. I mean, your theory, but one of the first things you told me before we drafted is you weren't all that thrilled with the elite guys. You're looking at the middle, like that middle, the guys that work hard and don't have the real big contracts. So far, you're right. I mean, there was a few. Tyreek did good, but if you didn't have that one long one, So I like that. I liked where you were coming from with that because those points add up. Yes, you get somebody like, Marvin Harrison didn't do anything. Greg Dortch had like 8 catches. You add that all together in a league where you get points for PPR catch, and that's not a bad day for a journeyman.
Right. No, you're right though. But you go back to look at the guys that came from, the Walsh, the Shanahan system. Those guys played their quarterbacks. I mean,
because it's a rhythm game, like you said.
Look at what's the number one play everyone was talking about in the preseason? Patrick Mahomes around the back because Kelsey ran the wrong play. Mm-hmm. They threw it behind the back pass to him. Patrick Mahomes is out there, but the rest of the guys aren't out there.
Yeah, and
you don't have to play the whole game, but
no,
you got at least take some series.
Well, you were at the game? Mm-hmm. Didn't the Niners play their starters for a lot of it?
They played their starter almost. Up until 2 minutes left into the first half.
See, that's crazy.
And they was out there getting a rhythm.
Yeah.
And you can tell when they hit the field this week, man, you can tell they was in a rhythm.
They took them a little bit too, a fumble, and then, it's just everything's off. But the thing about the 49ers, and James, you could attest to this the best because in baseball, it's different than football. Mm-hmm. They don't really practice now. Even when they're at the practice facility.
They don't practice.
You don't hit. It's one a day. You just walk through. It's no pads. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, your good teams, you got to get them used to getting hit.
It's almost actually they have to teach themselves how to fall because falling is an art.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People don't understand falling is an art. Getting tackled is an art. You know what I'm saying? Tackling someone, that's an art. And to be able to hit this ground without getting hurt, that's a tough thing when you don't hit the ground in practice. Like when I was playing, we practiced to the ground the whole time. And sometimes we'll have 3 days, 2 days. These guys may have 1.5 of a day. You know what I mean? So they're really not getting any time to tackle. That's why the tackling is so bad right now because when do they get the opportunity to tackle outside of the game?
A lot of arm tackles. I mean, you take the simple aspect of a quarterback as sliding. Mm-hmm. There's an art to sliding. Even in baseball, they brought out the slip and slides and put water on it. And we learned, if you didn't know how to slide, because you'll tear your knee up, tear your ankle up, and you see some of these quarterbacks that are sliding, somebody's going to blow out an ACL.
Have you noticed what they've been doing this week and last week? It was a lot of head first.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see that? It's a lot of head first because in their mind, they hadn't taught themselves how to fall yet or slide. That's an art, like we said. That's a freaking art that people don't realize it. Try to fall at 55 right now and see how long it take you to get down.
Well, I don't even want to get on the ground. I mean, you step up.
They really did teach you how to slide. Because my cousin got a full ride to Long Beach State freshman year, slid into second, blew out his
Oh.
career's done.
Wow.
So you're right.
Yeah.
They didn't teach him really how to slide before that. injury 20 years before that.
Yeah, it's crazy because all of it, I mean, you got to learn how to take out two. And, the pop-up slide. It's an art to all of it. I knew how to slide, but I sort of veered away from the head first slide because of all my shoulder injuries. And, guys, when I played, they didn't get out of the way. They blocked the plate.
Yeah.
So if they block the base, I'm going in Spike's eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some going to give. Either they're going to get out of the way or I'm going to be safe. You know what I mean?
Kyler Murray is a good example of a good slide because he played baseball, but he also gets injured a lot. So I think they're making him do everything he possibly can. However, I did notice. Did you notice he was running a lot more this year? Last season he didn't run much because
he's comfortable.
Yeah, he's more
getting
comfortable now.
Even when you come back from that, well, you'll see when you come back from that injury. You come back to play, but you don't feel good to that next year, really.
Yeah.
Mentally, that you trust that everything's going to be okay. You can react and the explosiveness is going to be there. You know what I mean?
I think at least from a fantasy perspective, that's why he jumped up the charts as far as rankings on who to take for a quarterback, and he looked pretty good in that first game.
I think Arizona is going to be one of the surprise teams of this year. Arizona is going to be a surprise team. I think that they're going to make a big jump. I think they're going to jump over the Rams because the Rams are having this horrible time of keeping everybody healthy.
Yeah.
And why? You never know why. But it's something going on within the organization that's guys are just getting hurt right now. And that's a bad omen because once it starts, it continues all year.
Yeah, well, you probably ruined Josh's day already. We're talking about the Rams.
Sorry about that.
but it's I don't know if I don't know if I believe in the quarterback because D Hop said to me the quarterback is the most important position besides middle linebacker, right? So to me you got to play for the name on the front when you're that guy. So no matter if it's good or bad, you got to fake it. Dave Winfield told me that when I first got to the big leagues. He said save your money and get a tape of positive imagery, of yourself. Hits, don't do anything. He said I don't care if you're 0 for 40. You walk up there with your head high like you 40 for 40 because it's going to keep you in a positive frame of mind, but also it's not your body language is not going to diminish and let them know that they can try to feed on it, right? So Tyler, I just see him always sitting by himself. I don't know the kid. I see him sitting always by himself, away from everyone else. Not D Hop always said he's by himself. He doesn't do anything. He isolates himself.
Isn't he? He's the only child, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
I think he may be the only child because that could be that syndrome of only child syndrome.
Is Deshaun Watson the only child?
I have no idea. I really don't have any idea about Kyler. But the thing about Kyler is, I looked at him as a very young man that was kind of confused. He was kind of torn between baseball and football, and his mind was saying, You should just go on and play baseball. Because anytime you bring up comments just before the season start that I wish I would have played baseball, that means that's in your heart. Baseball is in his soul. I, like myself, I knew baseball was in my soul, but I had outgrew it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, what I wanted to do. But Kyler still has the opportunity at his size, at his position, at his age, to say, okay, football is not where I want to be. And it don't look like –
but he got $160 million and $120 guaranteed.
Yeah, but his soul,
like
but that's still your soul. It's in his soul, though, baseball.
But even from the guys that were in Oakland, he was distant. You know what I mean? Talking to some of the guys over there. Like I said, I don't know him. I mean, it's just my perspective. Hey, man, you got perfect example of what we were talking about earlier. Your locker room, your lockers in private. You got to go through your assistant to call the quarterback. I mean,
that's not cool.
And and he had to move on, right? Russell had to move on. So what I'm saying is, at that position, man, you got to be having barbecues and everything else at your house, and you got to have these.
Right.
But that's what made Tom Brady so great, that he was able to corral everyone. He knew exactly how to rub this person to get this person to do what he wanted to do. And that's what makes a great quarterback and a great coach, is being able to get everybody to do what they're supposed to do at the same time.
Yeah, it's about, like I said, man, it's simple analogy to me. If you play for that front, play for the name on the front, the back takes care of itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you start just playing for the name on the back. And I know the name on the back, that's how we eat. That's how we turn on the lights. Hit the light switch and the lights come on. But if winning it just brings a different joy and happiness to everybody. You know what I mean?
It really does.
And if you have one apple that's still pouting and moping, usually the good teams, the good organizations, they get them out. You know what I mean? You can't, because we're only as tight as, the last baseball 25th man on the roster, right?
Same way in football.
So you need guys to do their job. Look at the backup for the 49ers yesterday. He just found out he was going to start. You know what? He took advantage of it. Yeah. When it was time to be ready, he was ready.
Well, we're going to discuss. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, did he know
that
he was starting? I think he knew Friday, right? And I think they're going to get in trouble for that.
I think they're going to get fined for that one, Jason.
Yeah.
Everyone hates him when man. I just know he was ready. Jason. He was ready when he got his opportunity.
I think he knew Friday.
I think he knew Friday.
And when he did that interview and said what he said, he couldn't bring it back.
Yeah.
And now
it's
going to be discussed.
And he shouldn't have to lie. I mean, it's not – he wasn't the one – he shouldn't have to cover for anybody. If he knew Friday, he knew Friday. I mean,
that's the organization's – hey, y'all do –
but
he said he was questionable, right?
Yeah.
McCaffrey was questionable. Either if
they asked him, when did you know you was going to be RB1? He said Friday.
Mm-hmm. And then they
RB1.
They asked Shanahan, and he said, I didn't tell him that. Maybe the running backs said to get ready, but he was backtracking.
Or you know how they do it. My perception was when I seen him, he wasn't going to be ready, so I was ready.
I have a question though, because you just said it's for the 49ers. They're they're one of the biggest franchises in the league.
Yeah.
You think people play better for the teams knowing it's like the Yankees, the Niners. You know what I mean? Like these kinds of teams. Like, do you think, in your guys' opinion, you guys play? You know everything about sports.
Yeah.
So, do you think those guys play better just because they're of the franchises they're playing for?
Well, I just know the better teams I played on, it was easier to plug and play. But then sometimes you can't. Some guys can't play every day and they get exposed. I know. Back when there was not a DH in the National League, we had I played with some great pitch hitters, man. But they was, hey, man, after 2 games in a row, because giving somebody a spell, they was like, this is too many games. I'm going to get exposed. Let me go back to my, where I'm comfortable. So I just think it's a difference of, like me, I had to play every day. I was no good the opposite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a detriment to probably myself and the team because even when I shouldn't have played, I played.
I think one of the great things for Jordan Mason or anybody that's a running back for the Niners is their offensive line is pretty good. Like anybody that runs in the backfield has been good. Like Elijah Mitchell was good. All of the running backs are good.
Mostert, Wilson.
I've never seen anybody get bottled up on the Niners, which is good. And I had Jordan Mason. I don't even have McCaffrey, but I took Mason. You saw, I drafted him. It wasn't like I picked him up on waivers. And I plugged and played him last night in the high stakes.
Yeah.
I did. I had a
did
flex
you
position.
know? I'm gonna ask you, did you know?
No.
Oh, are you an organization cheating too?
All I knew is that when Elijah Mitchell was out, I figured he'd be the guy. And when Elijah Mitchell played, both of them, Jordan Mason still had more points last year than Elijah did.
You see him as far as a non-drafted player. You see his stats.
Yeah.
He's at the top.
Isn't that crazy?
And Mitchell is the number 2 guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but they're making comments last night. It goes back to his dad, Shanahan in Denver. They never drafted a running back in the first round or anything. They free agent, another one, 1,000-yard, Pro Bowl.
Well, but it's because of their scheme.
Yeah,
they're scheming offensive. They run
time.
As a scheme. You know what I'm saying? Even like when I played against the Broncos, we knew what was coming. We knew the zone was coming. But the thing is about it, it's coming, but can you stop it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you got to have and to run that zone offense that they run, you must have a patient running back.
One cut running back.
One cut, baby. That's patience. One cut and go. Ain't none of that dip. I don't think Barry Sanders would have did well in his own offense because one year they tried it and that might have been his worst year ever rushing.
He probably had 1,700 that year.
Right.
That's all.
He probably had 1,700.
Well, I know I missed him a few times in my lifetime.
Hey, man, at my recruiting trip for baseball and football at Oklahoma, he was playing against Bosworth. Hey, dude, he rushed for 240 in Norman, and I was there on my recruiting trip. I've never seen anything like it. He could get out this little box right here. you can put 4 linemen here, and he got out of that. You know what I mean?
Well, you heard the story, right, about what Barry Switzer told his team. He told his team, do not hurt Thurman because you do not want number 21 on the field. And number 21 was Barry Sanders. So they was tackling Thurman, laying him down like it was cushion because he told them, do not hurt Thurman because if they put number 21 in, we're in trouble.
Well, the next year was the year I got recruited, and he was the man. And that was when he did his thing. And
Yes.
the game was the Orange Bowl. But, and that's when I knew Bosworth. I mean, it was all hype then because he had no chance.
Yeah.
0 chance.
But think about it, nobody had a chance.
No.
Yeah.
I recall a time in, I want to say it was 94, we was playing in Detroit. And I tackled him twice on one play. Well, I attempted to tackle him twice on one play. Because the first time I went to tackle him, he just disappeared. I mean, actually, he disappeared, man. I got him dead to right. I know I didn't close my eyes because I don't believe in it, but he just disappeared. And I'm like, what is it? And I look up, and he's running down the sideline. And I had to get my butt up and jump on his back.
So let me ask you guys this: out of all the hype with the young quarterbacks, Jason Feinberg, who impressed you this week?
So the rookie
Yeah.
quarterbacks. I think Jaden Daniels because he had the rushing. He had 2 touchdowns. It wasn't pretty, but compared to the other rookies, you kind of see where that he's got the potential. And I don't even think they're scheming right for him. Like, because he should be throwing. He can throw.
Oh,
Yeah, and they're kind of. I think once they figure that out, he's going to be real dangerous. In fact, I have it's a no-brainer. You'll know why. But in one league, I have Burrow. And I have Daniels. So you know who I'm starting next week, especially because I think they're playing the Giants. And so they should have their way. Both teams. It'll be crazy. Yeah, it should be high scoring.
yeah. I mean,
So anyway, that's my
but once again, Burrow didn't play. You know what I mean?
right.
And that was horrible.
And
Chase was out the whole until 45 minutes before the game.
And he didn't play at
T.
all.
Higgins was out.
And he did actually have some throws that his receivers either barely missed or were barely out.
Bounced off.
Yeah, bounced off. And then
The
we
one
were talking,
interception in the end zone.
Yeah, well, wasn't there like one guy was celebrating early and it was Deshaun Jackson all over.
Oh,
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Daniels has the best. I mean, to me, the best upside. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
I
you
mean,
know who looked good to me was Bo Nix.
He threw a lot.
He threw a lot.
But I mean, once again, though, if you have him throwing 45 times a game the first
You're
game
not
of the
gonna
year,
win.
You're not going to win nothing.
Yeah, and they have good. Javonte Williams is good. He just they didn't barely
They have
use
2
him.
backs.
Yeah, McLaughlin. Yeah.
Yeah, they have 2 good backs, but
Well, Peyton, man. I mean, Sean Payton has an ego. And his thing is, I'm going to show you guys the reason I got rid of Russell. You know what I mean? You can't come out running and you got rid of Russell. You must come out and show why you got rid of Russell. And that's why he had Bo Nix throwing so much. But I really believe he's going to roll that back.
Yeah.
Because he's going to go and watch the film and say, did I make my rookie quarterback throw the ball 49 times?
and I put the game on him. And this game is a
Yeah.
lot faster, a lot different. Even though, he played at Auburn, played at Oregon. This is a different beast up here. Everybody's all ACC and ACC and SEC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a different animal. You know who I was impressed with? And I'm a 49er fan. The Houston Texans, man, are.
Oh yeah, they're fun. They're fun. Nixon's still looking good.
Yeah, but see another thing. How do you? Even though I like Moss, but you give up Nixon. You let him go. You let him.
Right.
That was your bread and butter. You let him. I don't know.
Well, that was a personality.
Oh, was it like
that. You know that.
I know, but it's the Brown thing. The whole thing with Chase. Why do you do this every single time you have a free agent or a good player?
Yeah.
You make them want to leave Cincinnati. Why not run it back? They're all in their prime. So you get rid of one piece. You have another piece that don't even want to play. And I don't blame him. Chase, everyone else is eating, and he don't get to eat.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's.
He's got one of our first picks for you because you check. We did check marks since he couldn't be there, but is Nico Collins.
Yes.
And he's going to be fun to watch.
Nico's a beast.
He's fun to
Nico's
watch.
going to be a monster.
With Dale. And
Dell's good.
With Dell, and now you got your boy Diggs.
Diggs, yeah. That's the only problem. You worry because there's so many mouths to feed now. But
You just hope Diggs just. Well, DeMarco Ryan, he ain't that old, so he could be like, hey, we can meet over here and talk about it.
Yeah.
You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
We can go talk about it.
An
over
attitude,
here.
yeah.
We can talk about it.
Someone people left off is Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
He really played a really
did.
good game.
I have.
He
Yeah,
just bumped.
that's his
He just
quarterback.
ran into a very hot team.
Yeah.
Because they would have beat anyone else Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
He just ran into a really good team, a quarterback that's in rhythm, in tune with the coach and the players. They all in tune. And Anthony Richardson and his team ran into a very good team. I think they're going to make a big jump this year.
Well, how about
They're going to make a big jump.
JR, how about the rookie wide receiver? He missed twice, and then he finally hit him for a touchdown. I mean,
Brian
he could have had
Thomas?
3. He could have had 3.
Yeah.
He could have had 3.
He is
Yeah.
so far the best
He was
rookie wide receiver.
He was by them guys by 10 yards, and he just missed it. You know what I mean?
No, that wide receiver that Kansas
Oh,
City
you know
got.
who else is like that? Also
City.
missed him a couple times is Jaleel McLaughlin for
Yeah.
the Buccaneers.
For the Bucs.
He
Yeah.
had a couple that he threw to, so he's
Yeah.
going to be watch for him too on the waiver wire.
Yes.
I tell you what, LSU, I don't know what they're doing. LSU and Texas, they
Yeah.
putting them wide receivers out. Ain't
Right.
God, what are they taking them all?
They putting them out. I mean, did you see your boy from Kansas City? He caught that pitch and
Oh,
It,
Xavier
it
Worthy.
made him look like they were standing still.
Yeah.
and he only weighs 160 pounds. But I'm like, good God.
Yeah.
And he went by him.
But dude, he went. So speed kills, right? Everyone wants speed,
Mm-hmm.
and he lasted the 31st pick.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we'll see. Once Hollywood Brown comes back.
Oh, that's my guy. He's on my bench.
I got him too in a couple of leagues for sure. But we'll see. We'll see if Worthy can, one of those plays was broken play. We all could have gotten that one and run it in. Yeah. And then the other one was he wasn't even running that fast. He just, I don't know. He was just very swift.
Yeah.
But he was fast.
When he has that acceleration that
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill has.
Yeah.
It's like I'm right here with you. Then when you reach, I'm this far away from you.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
weird.
It goes back to geometry. It goes back to all about angles. Dog.
It's angles. Football is angles.
That's why you're going to love having Bijan this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Bijan
it's
is a monster.
so fun to watch.
Hold on, don't forget about Pitts.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and the Pitts is going to be a monster this year.
The pitch is going to be Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's done it, but it's going to be interesting if they go 0-3 and you got your boy sitting on the bench.
Right. That's what you're
Yeah,
thinking.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking is going to
I
happen.
mean, they mess around and get this man 130 guaranteed.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
That was the reason I took all those Atlanta guys because
What are
I'm
you going to do
thinking
on bye week?
Yeah,
Bye
bye week
week.
will be tough. Well, you got the Christians.
I got
both Christians.
I got both the Christians.
Yeah.
I'm
And you
going to have to
seem
play them.
And then he has Dobbins. It looked good.
I got Dobbs.
You actually have both.
I got a monster.
He looked really good. I'm happy for the kid.
That week he may have to play Dobbins and Gus.
I am.
Unless I think you have somebody else too, but yeah.
By that time, you have someone else you can
Someone
pick
else
up too.
will pick up. Mhm.
Let me ask you this. Going back to Tyreek Hill, what did you guys think after you saw?
Oh,
Jason,
yeah.
What do you think?
Tell me.
Because, after the game, he said he complied and did everything that he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But this time, I don't know, you're not going to win, though.
No.
I'm not saying don't knock him. I'm like you said, hey, man, I don't want no problems. Mine's going to be down.
Right. So I think that he was in the wrong for not putting his window down and making a big thing over, don't hit my window. Where the police probably made a mistake, from what I can tell by the video, is when the door was open, they did force him out. I don't think they needed to do that, and I think that's where he might have a platform.
And I think, too, when they first walked up to it, after he put the window, he had license and insurance. He had everything ready to give to him. But I understand. But the way they treated him, it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
At first,
the knee on the back, and even he's sitting on the curb. Just had knee surgery, sitting on the curb,
Yeah.
and then they force and throw us. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
When people say, because I've been profiled, it hasn't been to that part yet.
Mm-hmm.
But just because of the car I drive and because of something,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the fifth car. There's 5 in front, 5 behind me, and I get the ticket.
Did those cops know who it was?
That's what I was going to get to. My
Yeah.
point. When they stopped him, they had already ran the license plate.
Right.
Yeah, they always
So
say-
you know who it is.
They gotta know, right?
So my thing was, and I'm a conspiracy theorist,
Yeah.
like you always said. I'm thinking, put him in an awkward situation. Hey, one of the cops could have had a bet on the game.
I've heard that.
I'm thinking one of the cops could have had a bet on the game. You keep him out, they got a chance. But it's only a conspiracy theories. But I really thought that once they ran his license plates, that's Tyreek Hill. All right, let's find out. Let's go and tell him, hey, slow down, man. We know you're trying to get to the game. Now,
they could, yeah.
why not do that? Because you know who's in the car.
But I mean, how fast can you really be going when you're?
Yeah,
I seen
but
the
the
traffic.
stadium.
I seen the traffic. How fast can you really be going?
Right.
It was bumper to bumper. But when you take Campbell and the other kid that was pulled up next to him,
Yeah.
the way they approached them
Yeah.
too in a hostile.
Right.
They weren't doing anything. It
was
was like, man,
escalating.
they were trying. And Campbell is NFL man of the year.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
he's been around a long time.
Yes.
He's a leader. He was trying to de-escalate it.
Yes.
And just he gets a citation. They're pushing him back. He's just like, man, you don't have to do this.
Right.
You don't have to. Whether it's Tyreek Hill or Hill Tyreek,
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one deserves.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter what color, whatever. But that's the problem that people don't understand. Part of the society says he deserves it. You know what I mean? And that's the sick part. And I don't care who it is. I don't care black, brown, white, yellow. No one deserves that type of treatment.
Not throw it
Yeah.
on the ground.
Yeah,
And then he was
really-
sitting on the ground and with his arms
Yeah.
behind him. And if you did that to me, you know, with all my shoulder problems, I mean,
You might have
Yeah,
tore
no,
something.
right.
it definitely would have tore something. You know, and he was sitting on the ground. You see the way they just jumped on him after, and he's sitting on the ground with handcuffs.
You know what's funny? But did you guys? One of the things I thought of was the golfer. Was it Scheffler?
Scheffler, yeah, Scotty.
It was like kind of the same thing.
It was kind of the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't. I don't. Well,
I didn't see him throw Scheffler on the
no.
ground.
Something happened with.
It was
he hit the
Scotty.
car- something with a.
Well, someone got hit by the bus in the morning. The
Oh, okay.
One of the volunteer bus hit one of the volunteers.
Oh, okay.
and it was fatal. And
Oh,
Scheffler, you know, instead of stopping with the rest
Oh,
of the traffic,
right.
he drove around the traffic.
Oh.
and that's when they.
But didn't he start driving away and the cop was on the car or
Yeah.
something? Okay, so yeah, it's just no. But I do think when the door was open, they took him out a little bit forcefully.
Yeah.
That might be a
Oh,
problem.
And then the
Even
knee in the back.
And when you
Yeah.
sit on the ground,
No,
and you
then,
know what?
yeah.
Stop crying. The guy said, "Stop crying."
Oh, I heard yes.
That's
yes.
crazy.
I'll tell you.
I think it's all jealousy and power.
Well,
No.
and, well, you know, look, police officers have egos too.
They don't,
Yeah.
you know, it's their chances to flex on people.
But by then, they knew exactly who he was.
I know.
But it's like what your grandma said. It's like don't give it. It's like
Don't give him a reason.
Don't give him a reason.
Right.
But you know, and this goes back to buddies of mine. I have a lot of buddies that are law enforcement, and I had to look at a couple of them different because when they said, "Do you want to go on the ride along?" I said, "That's not cool for me. I don't need to see anyone's life ruined. That's not exciting for me." And and he goes, "Oh man, it was like almost like they were. It was getting them off some type of way because they were like, we can pull them over from a license plate light to a cracked windshield to this to that. They're looking for all the reasons to pull some of these guys over to, and to me, that's just not a good time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, and then."
You're right. It's 100%. I worked on how to catch a smuggler. I've been in cars where you're literally doing bus on people. They get off on it.
You know,
They 100% like the power. They're ready to ruin people's lives. They don't care. They just a lot of times they really don't.
you know, over license plate, they're pulling people over, the light on the license plate. And I understand we're supposed to have all this stuff, but I mean, they're going out with this mentality. And I'm like, wouldn't it be better if we didn't give anyone a DUI tonight? Wouldn't it be better if we didn't have to arrest anyone?
Yeah.
That means, like, you know, society and everyone's doing the right thing. But opposed, it's like, we're looking for it. I'm like, hey, I'm just going to stay inside behind my gates, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
Or Uber, it's a scary. Yeah.
But I think it goes on both ends because it's like citizens are a lot of times assholes to cops. Like, let's be honest. So
Yeah.
they're always on a heightened. That's why
Heightened alertness.
I really respect and I never give them bad time because you never know. You
Yeah.
On the wrong time, they just had something. You don't know. You know, they argue with their wife, their husband, or whoever.
But
and then all of a
that
sudden
goes both ways though.
That's the point. The point is that they should be getting more training and stuff like that to deal with those high pressure situations, right? But the problem is no one wants to be a cop, right? There's not a lot of people getting into law enforcement.
Well, too, I think, too, if, like I said, when I was growing up, Police Athletic League and all this other stuff, those guys were in my neighborhood. So I
Yeah.
knew them. They knew us. You know what I mean? So they had a relationship with us. When you take someone and put them in a different environment and they don't have the social skills on both sides to interact,
Right.
What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, right. It's fine. It's fine. As long as I get pulled over in Vegas or Henderson, usually what happens is that, because, you know, I'm always joking on the morning show. Like, they walk up, they look at they don't look at me. They're like, they're like, they're like, and they start laughing. They're like, because they know me from the morning show. It's kind of funny. They usually will let me go. But yeah,
Because I live in there. I live there too. So
yeah.
I'm trying not to get pulled over.
But I am very nice. I don't give attitude or anything.
But you're a joker.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right. So they're like, they know it too. So
See,
they're just like, what are you doing?
But,
Stop speeding.
What if me and you tried to joke? What would happen?
Yeah, it's different.
Ain't happening.
No.
You know, like I said, I've been blessed so far.
Yeah.
I've been profiled a few times,
Yeah.
but like I said, it's just the times are scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, like I tell my kids, man, hey, call 911. Say you're not stopping, but you're just going to a lit, crowded area, so we can have some
record.
people.
Right.
We
That's
can have,
a good idea.
You know, so I'm not gonna stop over here where there's nobody on the road and all that. I'm gonna drive to a gas station somewhere.
But call 911.
but let them know.
Let them
So
know
they
this
can-
is where I'm going.
So they can tell them behind me, I'm not trying to run from you. I just need to go somewhere
Safe.
that's lit and safe where I feel like I can get out.
Because
Yeah.
you as a citizen or as a person, you don't know what kind of day that officer had. You don't know how he woke up on, or if him and his wife is having financial problem, or they're having marital problems, or they're having any kind of problems. He just put his uniform on. You understand what I'm saying? So and had to come to work. But how many people can really separate that? You know what I'm saying? You're upset when you put that uniform and that gun on. That's still in your soul, unless you know how to separate it. And majority of the people don't.
Yeah.
They really don't.
Yeah.
Just thanks, man. I know you have to go to bed.
Let me see. Let me try to do something real quick. Let me see if I can throw everybody for a loop here because I just got a call. This is going to change the podcast for a second, but let's see.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's
That's
get
the
it,
beauty of
brother.
the podcast.
Right.
That's the beauty
We have no
of it.
rules.
We have no rules. We wide open.
I don't-
Ain't no cut. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Hi, Debbie Gibson.
Hi. Sorry, I'm super mellow. I'm in the car being driven, and I'm so tired. But I'm here.
Well, listen. The reason I said your last name is because I'm about to end a podcast, but I wanted you to say hi to a couple guys. They're all the same age group, all of us. But James Harris is a former Raider, and Greg Vaughn is a former baseball player. I know the Brewers.
Yep.
But you've been on other teams.
Oh, hi, guys.
Hey.
How are you?
Is that Debbie Gibson, the singer?
Yeah.
Is that the
how
singer? Sing me a song, Debbie.
We're on a podcast right now.
You ready? Wait,
Yeah.
wait, wait.
Okay.
I'm never too tired to sing.
Okay.
Give us a little bit.
Here we go.
Every time I'm telling secrets, I remember how it used to be. And I realized how much I miss you. And I realized how it feels to be free.
Yeah.
Way to go, girl. Way to go.
Thank you.
We're
Way to
all
go, Miss
clapping.
Debbie.
And all right, so I'm going to talk to you more about. So you can't do the. You're not going to do the show because I'm not working that day.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
come
no.
on, you're the
Yeah, no,
I hope I'm not offending everyone.
No.
But
No, you're fine. We'll talk. I'll call you when I'm done. But I just wanted to let these guys say hi to you, and we've been talking sports, so I figured we'd throw them for a loop.
you needed a little music break.
That's right.
Yes.
We did. Commercial break.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
You know, someone, I forgot who was it from your office. They approached me because my wine, you know, it won. Yeah, so
Your wine?
it won 23 wines. It was,
Oh.
They asked me to go on. It was after that. Who was it? After I won 100 points in best of show. I forgot who it was. It
From
was some,
Fox.
I think, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have to go back through my text message. I
Yeah.
probably dropped the ball. I hate asking people.
Come on, go on.
Well, we should have him come on for when the baseball playoffs start.
All right.
Yeah, because Fox we have baseball.
Yeah.
We also have
Just
another
like.
trailer for the Negro League one too.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Yeah.
We're going out to Sacramento in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we'll cut something new.
And you already have a relationship with Kristen, our executive producer, because you've been emailing. All right, good. So we're good. But yeah,
So-
I'll take off.
You do your wine with the Negro League
Yeah,
documentary.
I'd love to talk about that.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm down for that. All right, well, cool guys.
Well,
yeah.
Thanks, bro.
We
So
have a
week
thing
2.
that we say around here.
What's that?
You're someone that's breaking chains and building dreams for people. And here at Life After Sports 23, we'd like to say thank you from James Harris and Greg Vaughn.
I appreciate you, Jason.
Thanks,
bro.
guys. I appreciate it. That was
Yes, sir.
awesome. That
Thanks,
was awesome.
brother.
We'll
Thanks,
get
bro.
you guys both. We're gonna be in touch all the
Yeah,
time.
oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. That's
I
my
gotta,
guy
I gotta
there,
talk
man.
him off the cliff when
Yeah.
you know.
Hey,
he's
welcome
making
to my
his-
world.
Yeah, right.
I'm already ready to give me some trades and shit.
I know.
going, man.
You work the waiver wire.
Work
all right,
the
guys.
waiver
All right, see you
wire.
later.
All right,
Okay,
Jay.
We'll talk. We'll
Okay,
chat
man.
tomorrow.
I got you.
Thank you.
All right.